Good morning, Nigeria. It's a beautiful Friday morning to you wherever you are watching us from. This is Daybreak Live Extra on Dominion Television, your sunrise companion for news, conversations, and perspectives that truly matter. I am Samson Balogun, and I am thrilled to be in charge, and of course, to be in charge with Yemi Adelakun on the show this morning.
I like that word, in charge. And I'm Yemi Adelakun. Great to be here with you this morning as we unwrap the stories shaping our nation's headlines from the chambers of power to the arts of public conversation.
And of course, together, we promise you a refreshing start to your day, packed with insight, clarity, and a pulse of what's trending across Nigeria.
Yes, now let's dive straight into what's ahead on today's lineup. First up is Daybreak G's. The political air in Abuja is buzzing, but not for the reasons many think. The Senate has denied any moves to impeach its president, Godswill Akpabio. We'll be unpacking what's really behind the rumors, political mind games, power struggles, or just media mischief. We've got the details and the angles.
Well, was there ever an attempt to remove the Senate president? We'll see that on this show. Then we'll move to weather update on our Daybreak News segment. A crisp roundup of top stories making waves across Nigeria and beyond. Definitely.
And after that, we'll also turn to newspaper review and analysis, where we unpack the major stories, because there's a lot to talk about, speaking of that area this morning.
And absolutely, Temitope Eshola will be joining us. He's a seasoned public affairs analyst and historian who will be joining us on this show this morning. And for our big story this morning too, crisis at the core, how the Ibadan and convention could redefine the PDP's future. The People's Democratic Party stands at a defining crossroad, with factions deepening and unity in question. The Ibadan convention could either heal the wounds, and of course the old wounds, or widen the cracks in one of Nigeria's oldest political parties.
And to help us make sense of it all, we'll be joined by Honorable Molaja Olawi, APC's stalwart and seasoned public affairs analyst, for an honest conversation about what this means for the PDP and indeed for Nigeria's opposition politics going forward.
Yes, and as always, we'll wrap up things on this show with Trend Watch, your quick dive into what's buzzing across social media and beyond.
So go grab your cup of coffee or your early morning pap wherever you are in Nigeria, across the world. It's time to rise with insight, wit, and the stories that move the nation.
All right, you are watching Daybreak Live Extra on Dominion Television. So let's get right into it.
Okay.
But interestingly, I would love that pap kind of thing.
Really? You don't look like the pap person. You look like the coffee person. Really.
Well, I of course, I'm a Yoruba person. I do coffee because coffee is almost everywhere. But pap is the real deal.
Okay.
And today is extra. So I'm putting on the kind of attire that says I take pap.
You want to take us back to those Saturday mornings at home.
I mean, you don't necessarily need sugar, but then, it's always there.
Take sugar.
There is a pap, there is a akara, made early in the morning, very hot and fresh.
Okay. I mean, you can get akara because the way you are describing it this way.
Okay, welcome to the show. Today is Friday anyway. It's a little bit more relaxed, but interestingly, the stories are not slowing down
at all. And
yesterday, it was in the news yesterday that there were attempts to remove the Senate president, Senator Godswill Akpabio. And interestingly, one of his allies, Senator Oji Kalu, said, look, yes, there were attempts, but it was repelled one way or the other. And at this time, there is no way they are going to remove the Senate president. Then this begs a question that, was there, beyond the glittering sittings at the floor, on the floor of the House, there are also rancors behind the scenes. There are things that we are not seeing, and most times it only filters a little bit into the headlines of the newspaper.
Yeah.
What exactly could have been the problem? That the Senate president is now a target one way or the other?
Honestly, I don't know actually, but there are certain areas that we can look at, just like you mentioned, they were attempts. And then the fact that it got to the public, that we are getting to know about it, that means that
was serious.
it was serious. So I watched a video a few days ago where Senator Adams Oshomole, called out the entire National Assembly to say that, how did we get to this point? Why is it that when a bill is passed and then first the bill will get to the first reading, second reading and third reading in one sitting? I don't know. That was what he said, and then he complained bitterly that this is
probably
rubber
the
stamp.
bill was on speed dial.
And then he mentioned something. He said even geniuses, should not do that. They should take their time to read through the bill before they move it to the next, to the next stage, because I know that before a bill can become a law, it will go through about 7 stages, because the final stage is the presidential assent. And then he's saying that, a bill moved from first to second reading to third reading in one sitting without proper scrutiny. And then he accused the entire lawmakers to say that, we need to stop this that we are doing is not right. I also recall that there was a time recently in 2025, I think around March, where a senator also called out, Senate President Akpabio to say that, okay, we are not your slaves. Why do you elect leaders without consulting us first? So apart from these people, all other issues, have come up on this. Senator Akpabio is not doing this right. It doesn't consult us. We do not take proper scrutiny before doing certain things. So at this point in time, I think the National Assembly, the 10th one, should be checked. Because, if all of these complaints are not being taken into consideration, we have no idea what can happen, because these people are there for the sake of Nigerians. These laws are supposed to benefit us. But then if laws are passed without proper scrutiny, regardless of whether those people, they are learned people, agreed. But then even the best of us, we still need to take some things into consideration. Humans can change, at any point in time, don't be surprised. But then I think proper, scrutiny should be done when bills, are passed, in the House, honestly.
You see, it's to re-echo what you just said. Sometimes when you look at the Senate, House of Representatives, House of Assembly, they are, regardless of political affiliations, their job is to perform oversight functions, make laws, and most definitely keep the what we call the executive arm of government in check. Each time there's something going wrong, they are easily there to say, look, these are not this is not part of what we planned to do for the Nigerian people, or regardless of where you find yourself. But then, one thing I have seen so far is that it has been a little bit too relaxed on the floor of the House. You could remember during Senator Bukola Saraki's time as the Senate President in the country, he had a lot of issues. He was a member of the political party, but obviously he was not always on the same page with the sitting president at the time. So it wasn't about him being. Some people actually, attributed that to the fact that he was a member of the PDP before he joined the APC. So they were thinking, he was just a PDP member causing trouble within the APC. But I don't think that was the situation. Yes, an average human being, or probably someone who is inclined towards the APC, would have probably thought of that too. But I do not think that was what happened. Sometimes, yes, you love this party. You want your party to always have their way, but you don't always pass every law. And to say that a bill goes through 3 different readings on the same seat, that's an aberration. It should not happen. Even if it is going to be a week after or 2 weeks after, there should be a time frame for the related committees to actually sit and say, look, let's perform oversight functions and do the reading and see where and what to change on this particular bill. But then rushing through just because you are the party in power, the president is your ally, should not be the case. Because at the end of the day, this bill does not affect the little 1% we have in the country that we call the elite. It affects the Nigerian people directly. And they should always put the Nigerian people first, because that's exactly why they were there. Yes, the Nigerian people trusted you with their vote. The moment they did that, that means they have entrusted you with the responsibility to make sure that their lives and properties are safe. 1, 2, the economy is safe for them to survive. Not just survive, but to live too. But Nigerians are just surviving, as the way I see it now. And every bill counts. Every bill that turns to an act counts on the floor of the House. And I think that it's not just about the Senate now. The executive arm of government also have to slow down when it comes to forcing the members of the Senate to actually pass a bill or something.
Yes, and I think at this point the Senate is so divided. I don't know how the president can actually come in, to make sure that things
the first time they were going to have a rowdy session of such magnitude was this week. It was not that bad before. They have always had their differences, but I think it reached its climax somehow
It was intense, and that's because maybe a lot of persons are not happy with what is going on, within the Senate. And I think maybe the president can come in to solve all of these problems. Because even I know that sometimes when you want to organize a program, maybe a conference, for instance, you have the planning committee, and then before you take some decisions, some persons will have to ruminate about it. They'll say, okay, take this or take few hours or take days, weeks to think about this, and then come back to
options.
us.
Should we do it this way or this way?
Exactly.
And then you decide on the same table which one to go for, and not just someone coming and say, look, this is what we want to do, and then everyone queues behind it.
Yeah, so if that can be done at that level, why should you pass a bill from first, second reading in one sitting? And then from what I read, this has been happening for a while now, especially with concurrent bills. So I don't want to say there's a lot going on in the country. We are in trouble, because if bills are passed without proper scrutiny, what's the fate of Nigerians? Because I mean, these people are there to represent us. I mean, if you look at the percentage of people in that house compared to the entire Nigerians, you see that it's very, very low. So it's sad. I also read one thing yesterday that says that Nigerian immigration removed Senator Natasha's name from no-fly list earlier ordered by Akpabio. I'm still trying so much not to believe this, because recall, I think about last week or few days ago, we talked about the fact that Natasha went live to say that
her passport was taken from her.
And then she mentioned the name of Senator Akpabio to say she knows that he's
behind
all of this. And then some Nigerians are saying, I mean, this is so quick. Why should she conclude that Akpabio was behind this? Now this story is coming out to say that they are removing her name from no-fly list because Akpabio initiated it in the first place. All of these must be taken into consideration. And of course, the claims of Senator Adams Oshiomhole and the claims of another senator in the house that came out recently to complain bitterly about the fact that Akpabio will choose leaders for them without consulting them. A lot of things are done. Let us nip it in the bud at this level. Honestly, that's what I'm thinking about this whole matter.
You see, talking about choosing leaders for them, I think there was a time, that was last week, where it also came to fold that if you are not a member of the APC on the floor of the house, you are in trouble. Some of the things, benefits for members of the house, you might just not be a part of it. And there are some things you get to hear from a third party, not directly from the Senate. So it's becoming more and more of a caucus kind of thing. And I fear for this country because we are gradually drifting towards a one-party state, one-party system, because every member of other political parties, for the fact that one way or the other, I think they are being sidelined. So they feel if I'm not part of this setup, definitely I'm not going to enjoy my stay in this chamber. So they are all gravitating towards the APC. And I feel like it's not because the APC are doing anything special. It's not because the president has called them to say, look, come to me. Looks like there are some agents of the president on the floor of the house. Their job is to frustrate everyone on the floor of the house and then bring them up. It's just an assumption now that why are these members of reps, members of the Senate, are all moving to the APC? Is it because the president is doing so well that I feel like I want to be a part of this success? Or because one way or the other they are being frustrated? Don't forget that it was a sitting rep that said, look, we don't even get any more benefits. All of these things, if you are not a member of the APC, it just happens so fast and you realize you are not there. Your name is not on any list. You are not a member of any reasonable committee. You are just there for being their sake. And sometimes when you have opinions on the floor of the house, you are not allowed to say anything. So it becomes an issue. When someone sits, yes, we understand that in some cases, there is hierarchy everywhere. When you get to the floor of the house for the first time, sometimes people who have been there before you get recognitions. That's where you have Senate leaders, you have people who have actually been there 2-3 times. They have been there. So they are recognized easily on the floor of the house. Sometimes your speaker doesn't even know your name, but then it does because it's written on your seat and he knows that, oh, it's social person sitting that way. So it might not really get to you most of the times. But then when you are coming for the second time, the fact that you are not a member of the APC or the PDP doesn't mean that you'll be sidelined. And we're now having members of the Labour Party, YPP, the PDP, all moving in their numbers to the APC. The fear is that eventually what we are seeing now, which is a rubber stamp kind of house, rubber stamp Senate, is what we'll be seeing because everyone is a member of the APC. So even only a few of the APC members will go against the bill because they want to align with the president.
Like Adams, a lot of persons are saying they are surprised that Adams will speak that way.
I've seen him speak some, fantastic truth recently, and I wonder exactly. It's coming from Adams Oshiomhole. Remember, there was a time he was talking to someone. I think it was in the aviation sector, and he was really lambasting the people and saying, "Look, this is not how to do things." So many people might not want to trust him because while he was a Labour leader, he did so well, and people got to know him for that. And then the fact that he crossed into actual politics, some people lost faith in him. But then, hey, you know, if you speak the truth most of the times, people should not forget the fact that you are still the same person, just that interests change.
Definitely.
It's all about interest.
Yeah.
As long as you're a politician, interests matter. But the fact that we are still having someone who is vocal, we had Ali Ndume sometimes during the early hours of this administration, who was always everywhere and saying, look, the president is being shielded from the people, is this, is that. He was always on national TV saying things. All of a sudden, he's no longer saying anything. It is Adams Oshiomhole now. At least we should have someone, at least 2-3 people on the floor of the House or anywhere that speaks truth to power, even within the party. Make them know exactly what they are doing that is wrong. If that is going on, we would know that the president listens, because there is no way Ali Ndume will speak that the president will not hear. There is no way Adams Oshiomhole will speak that the president will not hear. But it can happen on the streets and the president doesn't care and he doesn't know, because the information might not necessarily get to him. But if someone of that stature speaks, then the president will definitely get a breeze of what is going on.
Definitely. There was a time we had all of this, going on with Senator Tony Mbuyetu, that, you just challenge, and then you say, the worst you can do is to suspend me.
Right.
That was what he said, around that time. And the one more thing is, I read a story yesterday that said that some members of the APC are trying to woo Plateau State Governor to the APC. That's Caleb Mutwang. And then he said, see, this was bound to happen. This problem was bound to happen. Because if you look at the numbers of senators that have defected from PDP, Labour Party to the APC in the last 3-4 months is massive. So the order in the House has been disrupted. A lot is going on now compared to what we had when this administration started. They are not settled. So interest is causing a lot of problem, ego. I watched a video where this current sitting Senate president, that's Akpabio, that he was challenging Bukola Saraki seriously. And then at the end of the day, he was not even suspended. The whole thing that happened was that he was made to apologize to Bukola Saraki. And he actually got angry because of the sitting arrangement, the same thing that happened to Senator Natasha. So I don't know. I think sometimes it's about leadership now. Let's talk about it now. And the fact that a lot of senators, they are moving, even speakers. They are moving from all other opposition parties to the APC. So the House, a lot is. I don't think we have like 2 factions now. In the Senate now, we probably have like 6 factions, because some persons are like, we are here, and so a lot is going on. So I don't know how the president can actually come into this matter or maybe an independent body can come into this situation to look for ways by which they can restore orderliness in the Senate for the benefit of Nigerians.
Well, to round that off, there was a particular saying, I think that was on a show we had on this dial on Wednesday, and my guest actually spoke about the fact that, look, there's something going on, and there might just be an implosion within the APC. But we are seeing something similar already, especially on the floor of the House. If that happens on the floor of the House, what will happen to the general public, especially members of the APC out there? So it's a lot to undo anyway. But the truth of the matter is, we will get there. And when the time comes, 2027 is almost here. Definitely. We'll see what will happen. And that takes us to Weather Report on the show. This morning, I will be starting with the ancient city of Ibadan. On Weather Reports today, weather currently feels like 23 degrees Celsius in Ibadan this morning, and as we speak, it is mostly cloudy out there. And later in the morning, it will be partly cloudy and rise to 29 degrees Celsius on that report. It will be sunny in the afternoon at 33 degrees Celsius and clear in the evening at 26 degrees Celsius. Partly cloudy overnight at 24 degrees Celsius in Ibadan today.
All right, let's cross over to Ekiti Southwest this morning. Weather feels like 23 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy, around 2% still this morning. And then in the afternoon, 32 degrees Celsius, mostly sunny, around 0%. In the evening, 24 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy, around 9%. And overnight, 22 degrees Celsius, foggy, around 10%. That's what we have for Ekiti Southwest this morning.
Okay, moving on, we go straight to Abeokuta in Ogun State this morning, and weather currently feels like 24 degrees Celsius in Abeokuta today, and mostly cloudy right now. It will also be partly cloudy later in the morning at 29 degrees Celsius. It will be mostly sunny in the afternoon at 34 degrees Celsius, clear in the evening at 27 degrees Celsius, and overnight it will be mostly clear at 25 degrees Celsius in Abeokuta today.
All right, let's cross over to Ilorin International Airport. Weather this morning feels like 23 degrees Celsius. Later this morning is expected to be around 29 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy around 1%. In the afternoon, 36 degrees Celsius, mostly sunny around 0%. In the evening, 28 degrees Celsius, clear around 2%. And overnight, 24 degrees Celsius, clear around 7%. That's what we have for Ilorin International Airport this morning.
All right, moving on to the Center of Excellence, that's Lagos State this morning. Weather in Lagos is currently fair at 26 degrees Celsius, and later in the morning it will rise to 29 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy right there. It will also be partly cloudy in the afternoon, slightly higher at 30 degrees Celsius. In the evening, it will drop to 28 degrees Celsius, clear, and mostly clear overnight at 28 degrees Celsius in Lagos today.
All right, let's cross over to Shogo this morning. Weather feels like 24 degrees Celsius, and this morning is expected to be around 29 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy around 1%. In the afternoon, 34 degrees Celsius, mostly sunny around 0%. In the evening, 26 degrees Celsius, clear around 9%. And overnight, 24 degrees Celsius, cloudy around 10%. That's what we have for Osogbo this morning.
All right, still in the south, but in the south-southern part of the country, that's Port Harcourt, River State this morning. Weather currently feels like 22 degrees Celsius right there. But later in the morning, it will rise to 27 degrees Celsius and be partly cloudy there. In the afternoon, same temperature, 27 degrees Celsius, but mostly cloudy in Port Harcourt. It will drop to 22 degrees Celsius in the evening, partly cloudy, and mostly cloudy overnight, maintaining 22 degrees Celsius in Port Harcourt today.
All right, let's cross over to city Abuja. Weather this morning feels like 23 degrees Celsius, and later this morning is expected to be around 31 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy around 0%. In the afternoon, 34 degrees Celsius, mostly sunny around 0%. In the evening, 26 degrees Celsius, clear around 1%. And overnight, 23 degrees Celsius, mostly clear around 1%. That's what we have for FCT Abuja this morning.
Okay, moving on to Suleja, still in the north central, Suleja in Niger State this morning. Weather currently feels like 22 degrees Celsius right there, and it is fair. And later in the morning, it will rise to 30 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy. It will be mostly sunny at 34 degrees Celsius. It will drop slightly to 25 degrees Celsius and mostly clear in the evening, and overnight it will be clear, and it's 22 degrees Celsius in Suleja, Niger State today.
All right, let's cross over to Kaduna this morning. Weather feels like 19 degrees Celsius, and later is expected to increase up to 29 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy. And then in the afternoon, 33 degrees Celsius, sunny around 0%. In the evening, 23 degrees Celsius, clear around 0%. And overnight, 20 degrees Celsius, clear around 0% as well for Kaduna this morning.
Okay, further up north, and that's Kano Municipal, Kano State this morning. And weather currently feels like 19 degrees Celsius, currently sunny in Kano. And later in the morning, it will rise to 29 degrees Celsius, mostly sunny. It will also be mostly sunny in the afternoon and rise to 34 degrees Celsius, but drop to 25 degrees Celsius in the evening, clear. And overnight, it will be clear at 20 degrees Celsius in Kano. And that will be all we can take on weather report this morning. Let's go on a quick break. When we return, we take the news. We'll be back.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB event today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast and on X at Dominion Casts. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Good morning. This is Daybreak News on Dominion Television. My name is Anoluakpo Ido. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has dismissed claims that Nigeria violates religious freedom, describing them as false and damaging to the country's image. Speaking at the 5th National Advertising Conference in Abuja, Idris said such claims distort the reality of Nigeria's diversity. The minister said that while Nigeria faces security challenges, the problems are not religiously motivated. The Senate has moved to outlaw the recruitment of persons under the age of 18 into the military as it passed the Armed Forces Repeal and Reenactment Bill of 2025 for second reading. The provision, which prohibits the enlistment of minors, aligns Nigeria's military practices with Child Act 2003 and the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child and the African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Child. The bill, sponsored by Senator Abdulaziz Yaradua of Katsina Central, seeks to repeal the existing Armed Forces Act 2004, replacing it with a constitutionally compliant and operationally responsive law. The legislation has also been referred to the Senate Joint Committee on Army, Navy and Air Force to report in 4 weeks. Moving on, the House of Representatives has passed for second reading a bill seeking to amend the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control Act to empower the agency to regulate the production, sale, and use of herbal medicines in Nigeria. Leading the debate on the general principles of the bill during plenary, Jesse Onakalusi, who represents Oshodi Solo, Federal Constituency of Lagos State, described herbal medicine as a crucial component of Nigeria's healthcare system, relied upon daily by millions of citizens. He, however, expressed concern that most herbal products currently in circulation are produced under unhygienic conditions with no dosage control, clinical testing, or safety certification, exposing users to serious health risks, including poisoning, infections, and organ damage. The bill was unanimously supported and referred to the relevant committee for further legislative action. The House of Representatives has urged the Federal Ministry of Education and West African Examinations Council, WAEC, to suspend the planned introduction of computer-based testing for the 2026 school examinations. The lawmakers' directive followed concerns that most schools, especially in rural areas, lack the infrastructure and manpower to support a full CBT transition. WAEC, with the backing of the federal government, had earlier announced plans to conduct the 2026 May June examination using computers following the partial rollout of the model for private candidates in 2024. But the House urged the Education Ministry and state government to make provisions in the 2026, 2027, 2028, and 2029 budget for the recruitment of computer teachers, construction of computer halls with internet facilities, provision of standby generators, and assessment of private schools' readiness before fully implementing the CBT policy in 2030. Meanwhile, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC Southwest Zone, has begun the destruction of unwholesome and substandard products worth over 20 billion naira in Oyo State. Speaking at the Moniya dump site, the Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Christiana Adeyeye, said the exercise was aimed at preventing such dangerous products from re-entering the market and causing harm. Adeyeye was represented by Florence Uba, the agency's Deputy Director, Pharmaceutical Division, Investigation and Enforcement, Apapa, Lagos, stating that the products being destroyed included substandard and falsified medical products, unwholesome processed foods and additives, unsafe cosmetics, and other expired items. In Oyo State government has introduced a new digital registration and reflective jacket policy for commercial motorcycle and tricycle operators with a 7-day ultimatum for compliance. Honorable Commissioner for Public Works and Transport, Abdulmajid Mojubola, warned that full enforcement and arrest will begin next week for defaulters. Digital registration is designed to enhance safety, accountability, and professionalism, while the reflective jacket will serve as official identification for licensed operators.
State government, through the Ministry of Works and Transport, has initiated the digital registration of all commercial motorcycles and tricycles operators in the state. As part of this enforcement, all registered riders are required to wear their official jacket uniform issued by the ministry while operating across Oyo State. The uniform will serve as a visible identifier, promoting safety, security, and a professional image for the transport sector.
My advice to them is just to get registered, like I used to say, that it's better to get regulated than for the government to take another step. If some states actually have done this, I believe the riders will want to say thank you to them. So we thank the rest of the government for regulating the activities of riders in the state.
Riders have been given 7 days to comply with the new directive, after which enforcement will begin. And in business, the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPRA, have stated that the proposed implementation of the 15% of value-added import duty on imported premium motor spirit and diesel is no longer in view. This was disclosed in a statement posted on its X handle and signed by the Director of Public Affairs Department, NMDPRA, George Ene Ita. President Bola Tinubu had approved the introduction of a 15% value-added import duty on petrol and diesel import into Nigeria. NMDPRA also assured all that there is an adequate supply of petroleum products in the country within the acceptable national sufficiency threshold during this peak demand period. And finally, in sports, President Bola Tinubu has congratulated the Super Eagles on their 4-1 victory against Gabon in the FIFA World Cup qualifying Africa playoff. This was conveyed in a statement signed by Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, stating that the result reflects Nigeria's resilience and renews the push to seal a World Cup ticket. The president also said that the performance is a clear expression of the Nigerian character and rises, adapts, and prevails. You can visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng to watch us live and interact with us. You can also follow us across our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and LinkedIn at Dominion Broadcast, and on X at Dominion Cast. And that's Daybreak News. I am Anoluapo Ido. Thank you for watching.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram at Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
I welcome you back. Thank you for staying with us this morning. This is Newspaper Headlines and Analysis. My name is Oluwayemi Adelakwa. With me in the studios this morning, Temtokwe Shola, historian and public affairs analyst. Welcome on board.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, let's start from the Guardian newspaper this morning. I have this headline that says, ADC says fresh 1.15 trillion loan exposes Tinubu's addiction to reckless debt. Yesterday on this program, we discussed, a certain headline that talks about the fact that about $150 billion is targeted for vaccines, come 2026, because, an increase has happened because of the numbers of persons they need to cater for. And now a new 1.15 trillion naira loan. So the ADC now is saying that if Tinubu is not careful, it might just continue on this borrowing spree, and then it will not help our economy at the end of the day. Really, do we need to still borrow at this point in time?
We don't need to borrow at the moment. And why am I saying this? Because under the same administration, as I think early this year, there was this news going around from the presidency that finally that the last set of loans they took was going to be like the last they would take. Okay. That we've already met the mark. in our fiscal year and all of that. And there were questions around it, but I think there's a limit to what a lie can, there's a limit to how far a lie can stay around. And this recent spray of borrowings and request for borrowings highlights that we've not really gotten it all right in that fiscal department of the country. But one thing I also want to make clear is that borrowing is not wrong, as long as it is channeled into productive means. So meaning you don't borrow to eat, you borrow to build. That way, what you've built can return the value of the money you borrowed back to wherever you borrowed it from, and you still have that infrastructure that you built to benefit you as a person rather than borrow, you eat. Because there's this saying that that I learned from my pastor that anything that makes you to borrow to eat, definitely that same thing will be the reason why you can't pay back that loan. So if you are borrowing for other means like your business to pour into something productive that can return, that can give you returns, yes, but that you are hungry, you don't have money, you are broke, and you borrow, and the sole purpose for the use of it is to feed yourself and take care of yourself, then you can't return that loan back. So, and Nigeria has shown that over the years, not even just this administration itself, over the years, that you just tend to see that we keep on borrowing, but there isn't any value that we can see as individuals. Under this administration alone, I think we're accusing Buhari before that's the late President Buhari of borrowing a lot of money and keeping us. But this administration seems to have taken that borrowing spree at another level entirely.
They've also paid part of the money, actually, when they first came in.
Yes. And I think sometimes that can be deceiving in some ways, in the sense that doing that kind of keeps us relaxed that, oh, we are getting something. But I keep asking myself and any other person that every of the borrowing that we have had, let's even say we don't understand the previous guys, this current administration, let's even, because I like taking things in context, what have they borrowed the last set of billions for, and what have they used it for? So the fact that we can't even balance it shows that there's a lot of question. And let's not forget that the vaccines, many of the times, most of the things we borrow money for, we budget money for, are things that you can't really measure it in Nigeria. So let's say, for instance, you say you are doing some form of expenditure in the budget for school feeding. We don't have that mechanism that allows us to measure that, oh, you're actually feeding this student, that is not one person sitting in one corner as an avenue. So for me, my fear in this is that the game for 2027 is ongoing, and every means that you can use to gather money here and there is what they are looking for. Because I know that there are people going through serious medical conditions and the likes that need these vaccines. So that's why it is tenable to say, oh, we need it for this purpose. But my major concern is always the implementation. It's very easy to draw plans on paper. It's very easy to postulate desires and write them down. My major concern is always, how do we carry these things out? How does it reflect positively in the lives of Nigerians? If they can show us, and that's where the issue of trust is. Government has not shown us over time that we can trust them, that if they say this is what we want to use these resources for, it will be used for that purpose, or we want to get this because of this, and trust that they will go ahead and get it. But we have a government that have not been very forthcoming with its citizens. So they should forgive and permit the fact that I am a bit pessimistic about the possibility or the chances that this particular money will be used for what it's meant to be used for, as they say they want to use it for, or that they want to even use it for something entirely different.
And our budget is even suffering, because recently the House of Representatives is at loggerheads about this whole budget thing, to say that we cannot afford the proposed budget for 2026, and now we are still borrowing. I just hope that we can eventually afford the budget by the time we borrow this money.
If we're a manufacturing country, then a lot of these concerns is going to be met.
Okay.
But till date, in 2 years into this administration, we are still struggling to see clear-cut industries that have been allowed to boom, to grow. Is it the textile? Is it the automobile? These are industries that exist in Nigeria that are a bit docile. That just a little effort from the federal government in terms of policy enablement, funding, and the likes. We open up the market space. We have 16 countries around us, or should I say 15 countries in West Africa around us. That's a proper government policy that that promotes the made in Nigeria. So the problem is that most time when they say made in Nigeria, it's always like as if you are spoon-feeding Nigerians that they must. Whereas there are a lot of other markets. We have 16 countries in the West Africa thereabout. What have we done to ensure that we open up our space? We can't even say global yet. Just in our space that allows it easy for you to move goods, your automobile, your textiles and the likes to spread across the immediate countries around you. Because they are basically looking up to Nigeria. They don't have the resources we have. So if you can get them in that place, let the whole 16 countries around us be using our oil. Let them be getting a lot of things for their own country, move their automobiles and the likes from. These are just even gray areas. They are not like in full entirety all that it is. But these are some signs that will guarantee that there are certain returns that come in terms of revenue or FDIs, as the case may be. And in so doing, most of these resources can be channeled in those directions. Is Nigeria earning revenue? Yes. But I believe that we are still playing very small.
Okay. I think it's a fine place to leave it. Let's look out for how this will play out in terms of the budget and this borrowing spree. Another headline is saying, AU chief dismisses genocide claims as Obi task editors on nation building. I also read a story this morning where Amici, that's the former governor, came out to say that when we went to the United States at that time, when Goodluck Ebele Jonathan was in power, the discussion was not, around, impeaching Jonathan or the fact that he's, increased in the Boko Haram in the country. It was about a free and fair election. But then, other persons have come out to say that the major reasons why some members of the APC went to the United States 2014, 2015 was, to tarnish the image of that administration. And then that is what is haunting us today in 2025. Really.
Yes, honestly. And I should also add that the biggest mistake the biggest mistake that befell the world was Obama becoming president of the US.
Really?
So, and that's in addition to what you said. The existence of an Obama and whatever globalist policy that he was representing led to the spread of terrorism worldwide. So we've seen a scenario, we've seen by American documents in the same House of Reps and their Congress and the Senate that the United States funded Boko Haram. They funded, I forgot the other rival faction of Boko Haram, I think ISWAP.
Yeah.
They also were funded. Because I kept asking that what happened overnight within just 1 year, 2 years, that supposed illiterates in the bush could handle surface-to-air missile systems and weaponries that even our military did not have.
And then I heard that one AK-47 costs about over $1,000.
Over $1,000. So what is an herdsman that does not even know, that is properly broke, that you can see? How did he get 1.5? If he gets the 1.5, is it gun he wants to go and buy? And let's not forget also that there's a strict process of even procuring guns. I, as an individual, before I'm going to get license to even hold a gun, I know how I have to climb, go to Abuja, get permit, do this. How is it so easy that it's as if it's bottled water in the hands of this kind of element? So you can already tell that there's concerns there. So forget what Amici is doing. All of those ones are just public watch. Would the opposition go to the United States and go and speak good of the person in power? Not even the opposition this time around. We won't go to anybody and say they are admonishing the president or praising him. No, obviously you have different political interests at play. But the truth still remains, if they are also going to be fair. Jonathan, according to many reports, up until May 29, just after he left office, the machineries that they got acknowledged that they were just a week or two away from decimating these guys. And Buhari came in and sent them away. So you can already tell that the APC administration did not already want anything in that regard. They need turmoil, they need crisis to rule. And if you look at it, even in the area of the political space, they thrive when there's chaos. So at any point in time, so it makes us keep fighting ourselves. It makes us take our attention away from them. So a lot of them, let's not forget that the vice president himself too, he has issues and question marks around conversations of sponsoring terrorism.
One was even arrested in
Kabiru
his house
Sokoto was the one arrested in his house. And Kabiru Sokoto was the mastermind of the UN house bombing in Abuja then. So these are questions that needs to be asked, that these guys seem to just deflect always. 2 years ago, I think, or a year ago, in the last years of Buhari, the Qatari, is it UAE or Qatari government sent in names of those sponsoring terrorism. It hasn't been made public to date. So there's a way you tell me that you are working on something, and by your actions, I can tell that you're truly serious about this.
Do you think that was done for safety or just to ensure that, I mean, the people they're after do not get?
It's a very simple
intel?
thing. By now, if you had worked, so let's say you did not make it public, and you began to work on it, definitely terrorism should have reduced quietly. That we would just wake up one morning, and the same way we woke up and we are hearing everywhere going up and down, boom, boom, gunshots, bombs going up. It's the same way we should wake up and just suddenly understand, we've not heard about this in a while. We've not heard about this. And start asking questions how were they able to do it, and they can come out then and say, oh, yes, so we got to the names and we've worked on it, even if they still don't want to tell us the names. But it's just as if it gets bigger and bigger. And we need to also add that the election of 2015, as they went to the United States to put pressure diplomatically on Jonathan, they also went and imported thugs across the West Sahel, that's the western countries, or the countries surrounding Nigeria, and chip them in to wait in the ranks, so that if there's issues, they were going to blow it up. And already, let's not forget, public goodwill, international pressure was not in Jonathan's favor. So if he had said he was not going to consider election, he was going to be branded a dictator. He was going to be branded a dictator, and every Nigerians were most likely going to align and side with the APC coming in, because at that point in time, there was nothing Jonathan was doing good in the eyes of anyone. So he saw that and stopped. And that crisis, instead of them to cater to the guys that they brought in and take them out, they didn't. They just left them in the rank, which is how they usually do, even with the local guys as well. They use thugs after elections, they abandon them. When they need them again towards the election, that's when they come back for them. And that was the same way they did with that. So I just want to round up with the part of, no one should say there is no Christian genocide. If you are not living in the midst of the crisis, if you are not living, if you have not seen, if you have not lived in communities that have been burnt down from the scratch, that has been burnt down, you've not seen people die, you've not buried dead, I don't think anyone has any right to say that there is no genocide. I am living comfortably in the Southwest. I have no right to say there is no genocide out there, and I have no right to say the help that they are craving for and that is coming in the guise of a Trump is not warranted or is not necessary. No. Until the only person that can tell me there is no crisis is those that are living in the midst of it, that are waking up day in, day out with the fears of being attacked or survived attacks and the likes. Those are the people that can tell me that there is no genocide. We are still comfortable here. So everyone coming out to say there isn't Christian genocide, they should just keep their mouth shut. A lot of people have gone down. So whether it's even, and that's another thing I want to say, whether there's genocide in terms of the term or that word, genocide or not, in terms of qualifying the extent of it, the most important thing is that people are dying. Either Christians or Muslims. People are dying. So the government has to do something about it.
We should not lose focus now, because, I mean, this has caused a lot of divisions across the country to say, oh, it's about Christians, it's about Muslims.
Which is the way Nigeria is. Nigeria is delicate, and we thrive on division. So, and when we emphasize our identity and these divisions, it's largely to cover the gaps that there are mistakes we are making. It's also to deflect from the real issues on ground. If the Muslims, in quote, as per the leaders that have been coming out to say no, it's not right, it's not this, that's the Sheikh Gumis and the likes, the question would be, are they comfortable also with Muslims being killed? That they've kept quiet over the years without making moves to say, oh, government, people are dying, do something about it. Why is it that suddenly we know that Muslims are dying because there's an agitation from a section of people that says, oh, we are being attacked? So I'm not going to say there isn't different ethnic groups or religious groups being affected. I, for one, personally want to see it from the lens of Nigerians. Every life of every life of one single Nigerian, multiple Nigerians, is very important. But our country doesn't seem to have, we fail to entrench that understanding in the minds of an average Nigerians, that sense of loyalty, that sense of focus that we are one, of unity basically. We tend to just act individually and just save myself, my family, and the likes. So that's why most time when something happens, we feel like, oh, it's happening in the north. Thank God it's not in the south. But no, that shouldn't be how it should be. If anyone is down, the whole country should be most remorseful about it, and that's what I want us to do. So this incident, I think, it calls for a lot of reflection as a country and the political class to ensure that they put things in place, things in order. They shouldn't let it get, and that's the same approach these guys are doing, because it hasn't touched one of them. Watch, the moment this kidnapping, this terrorism starts affecting the politicians themselves, one or two of them is being taken down, you see that everybody will rise. So it's not like we don't know the right thing to do. We know, but because it hasn't gotten to those that
I think some managers are saying they are seeing changes around security already. So let's just, be positive to see that, in the next few months, the things will get better.
All of a sudden, the military has been awake. We've been seeing them taking down different terrorists, this and that. I still feel it's just, is this thing we used to call it? I'm looking for the right tush word to use. But let me use the word propaganda.
Okay, propaganda.
So it's propaganda, basically, for me. Because all of a sudden, how come they now know where the terrorists are? How come they are picking them all of a sudden? Would they say they don't know where they were all this while? So you can tell that there's a lot of untruths in that place.
All right. Let's turn our attention to another area that is so important in the country. And, speaking about oil, I have this headline on Daily Trust that is saying, marketers welcome suspension of 15% fuel import levy. This has been suspended. When this came up, some Nigerians celebrated, some were against it. Why is it that in this country, sometimes when we come up with a policy, federal government, for instance, sometimes a few weeks later or a month later, they reverse it. And then what does it say about consistency in our policies, in Nigeria? Because if we continue like this, all other persons might not actually take us serious when it comes to policies and then the implementations.
We are not being taken serious normally, unless President Trump said the now disgraced country, Nigeria, which implies that at a point we're not disgraced. At a point we're regarded highly, at a point we're respected, but now we're not. And it's a accumulation of a lot of actions from successive governments. So it's not peculiar, we can't tie it down entirely to the President Tinubu's administration. We can't say Nigeria became bad under him. So it's something that has been coming over time. And for me, how I interpret this is largely what I don't know the name I used to call, I've forgotten the name I call it, but let me paint this scenario. So when this government wants to push things out, there's this way of trying to feel the pulse of the citizens, whether they like it, whether they want it, whether it's a popular policy. They just come out and make those announcements. So over time, within the timeline of maybe a week, a month, they use it to assess how it is, whether the people receive it well, whether the people are against it, and also the players in the game, how they react to it. Then if they feel that, it's something they can go ahead with, they just keep mute and continue. But if they see it's giving them internal issues and a lot of other things, they retract, they take a step backward of it. So that's how they've been managing their policy, as it were. And for oil, we must not forget that oil seems to be the only thing that is giving us joy in the account, let me put it that way. So when I use accounts, not necessarily Nigerians, I mean the federal accounts, whereby we can say we are guaranteed some form of revenue coming in and exchange and the like. So it's a place they also have to be very careful with the way they churn out policies or implement policies. But this import levy, I think it's good that it's closed, because I for one keep worrying that additional levies like this would take the price of petroleum products high. And it's appalling that in a country, I think we're the 6th largest oil producing nation, and some nations that don't even have the oils we have tend to afford to buy this fuel at a cheaper rate than we do, which is very wrong. I feel like since this is something that is our own, it should reflect in the way it's easy for us to assess it. Let it be that it's the bulk of the funding that comes in terms of revenue in that magnitude comes from the external guys. And I'm happy that Aliko Dangote's refinery is being expanded now to become the largest in the world. And I think I also heard that there's a new refinery coming up soon also. No, there's one even coming up, which is from Boa, the Boa man, Rabiu. Then I also heard that there's another one coming in soon. And I think if properly managed, I hope that it will decentralize the cost of oil in it. But on the end of the policy part, I think government needs to really, really be very clear. If they are going this way, they must have reasons why they want it to go this way. And they should stay through it. Yes, truly, citizens would have to complain that some things are not good, the cost of this is high. But a visionary government that realizes that, oh, this policy is going to give us much more benefits beyond the pains should follow through with it. And in a year, 2 years, would thank them for it if they go well according to their projection.
Okay. I think that's a good one. At the end of the day, what Nigerians are concerned about is what will benefit them in the long run. Let's talk about PDP in a few minutes, because I mean the convention is set to hold tomorrow, regardless of the whole tussle with Wiki, with Damagum and the likes. And then I think Adolphus Wabara, the leader of the BUT, said the convention will happen. And as a matter of fact, I read in the news that stakeholders are already arriving for the convention. And then one person, I think Bukola Saraki, mentioned that, okay, this convention should not hold because it will only increase the crisis within the PDP. And then he also mentioned, I think Wabara mentioned that there are several court rulings, just like we mentioned yesterday, that because of the court ruling, if they go on with the convention, will it be regarded as contempt of law? But then the Supreme Court is actually very cool with this convention. But then all other courts, maybe some minor courts, are saying, okay, the convention should not hold because some party members are grieved. And now the convention is set to tomorrow. What are your expectations, even after this convention, really?
I think the convention would hold, and the results of the convention will stand. That's what I see. And why am I saying this? I think many of the guys against the convention are just trying to throw this sand into the soup and the likes. So what do I mean by that? I feel some persons realize that if the convention goes ahead, it will not be to their favor. Okay. And they don't have the numbers as it were. So what better way to destabilize the process than going ahead to the court and getting a form of injunction that destabilizes it? So because if care is not taken, and that's where the court needs to be careful too. If care is not taken, it means that convention will not ever hold till after the elections. Why? It means that if this faction comes to the court and gets an injunction to disrupt it, by the time the court says, okay, let's go ahead and get it done again, another faction that sees that is not favorable to them will go again, conjure another judgment from another court to disturb it. So I feel, and I want to trust that Governor Shema Kinde is a smart and well-calculated person, that he would not also want to invest such resources alongside with the party into a convention that there is no likelihood that it will be upheld at the court. So, and when I was coming this morning, I saw a lot of posters. I'm seeing Bauchi State Governor poster. I'm seeing this one, that. So you can tell that the city is already vibing. The people are already coming in as it were. So, and I expect that the convention is going to hold. Whoever is going to win would come in from it, and I expect that it will last. Though I still understand that there's going to be a lot of issues popping up after it, but at the end of the day, it's going to work. Okay,
let's keep a positive mind on this PDP convention. A big thanks to you, Temitope Eshola, for being a part of this segment, and thank you to the viewers as well for staying with us up to this time. My name is Oluwayemi Adela, and we need to take a short break now. When we come back, big story, we come up soon. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live like never before? Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok @Dominion Broadcast and on X @DominionCast. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
All right, good morning once again. Welcome to the big story on Daybreak Live. I am Samson Balogun, and today we'll dive into a pivotal moment in Nigerian political history, a moment that could very well redefine or define the future of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. And of course, the topic this morning, crisis at the core, how the Ibadan Convention could redefine the PDP's future. As the party prepares for its national convention scheduled for November 15th to 16th, 2025 in Ibadan, Oyo State, deep legal and political fault lines have emerged with conflicting court orders, divergent stakeholders, and public warnings from senior party figures like former Senate President Bukola Saraki. The question on the table is, Will this convention serve as a rebirth for the PDP or a tipping point towards irrelevance? To understand how Ibadan Convention became so consequential, we must walk through the key judgments and political moves shaping it. On the 4th of November 2025, the Oyo State High Court in Ibadan granted an ex parte motion allowing the PDP to proceed with the convention scheduled and asked the party to follow its published timetable and guidelines. Conversely, earlier and on the 11th of November 2025, a federal high court in Abuja, presided by Justice James Omotosho, placed a restraining order preventing the convention from going ahead, or from the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, supervising or recognizing its outcome. On the 13th of November 2025, the Oyo State High Court, Ibadan, extended its interim order supporting the convention's conduct until Friday, pending substantive hearing. The result? Conflicting court orders from courts or coordinate jurisdiction, each directing opposing outcomes. The Guardian described this as a confusion. Crisis swirl around PDP convention amid conflicting court orders. That was the caption. Amid this, Bukola Saraki weighed in decisively. He publicly urged the PDP to suspend or shelve the planned convention, citing the legal uncertainty and the risk of a process whose outcome might not hold. As it stands, the fact is that there are conflicting court orders. As a result, there is no assurance as to whether the conduct and outcome of the convention will stand. And of course, he said, and he recommended, instead of the immediate constitution of a caretaker committee to steer the party's affairs until reconciliation is done and clarity are achieved. The stakes could not be higher. One side of the PDP leadership insists convention must go on. Yes, where the governor of Oyo State, Engineer Abiodun Seyi Makinde, belongs. Another argues the process is flawed. That's in years of Wike and his cronies. And the outcome likely to be challenged and invalidated. Yes, Ayo Fayose also belongs in this school of thought. The question looms large. If the convention proceeds under these conditions, will its decisions be legally binding? That's a question. Will the party emerge united after this or further fractured? Today, we have with us a distinguished guest, Honorable Omolaja Olaoye, a stalwart of the All Progressives Congress, APC, to provide an outsider perspective of what these all means for the opposition politics in Nigeria. So thank you for being a part of the show so far. I have with me in the studio, Honorable Omolaja Olaoye. Good to have you here.
Thank you very much, Samson Balogun, for having me here today. I'm very delighted to be here as well. And the viewer at home, I would say much thank you for watching us.
Okay, let me take your outsider perspective on this one. As an APC chieftain, a stalwart in the ruling party in Nigeria, yes, the opposition party in Oyo State, what would you say is the current situation as an outsider? How do you interpret the series of conflicting court orders surrounding the Ibadan PDP convention, and what does it say about the party's internal structure?
Thank you very much. The facts still remain that what is bewildering PDP right now is not strange. It has been in existence for a very long time, and APC internal problem as well. But how you are going to be able to solve it, that is the problem we are going to be able to divert in. And seriously, for so long, PDP has been a system. It has been a system before APC, and APC seems to be learning. And I don't think PDP are learning in any form at all. And now, we always complain about the court, that the court are those that are the deciding factor for a lot of things, even when you are coming to when it's come to election. The court is going to come in, because when you don't do accordingly, you are going to be penalized. There is no two ways about it, because the law are well stipulated. You are talking about the law, it's not ambiguous. It's there for you to see. We can be able to read it. A layman can be able to read it because it's well spelled out. But when people decide not to be following the law, the outcome can be so hard, harsh, and even, painful. But it depends on the way you look at it. With this, the last time when Jonathan was living, and a lot of federal and national assembly members are not really returned. You are talking about 2010. There's a lot of law being passed. It says even the court of the same jurisprudence, and they don't have the right to be giving this kind of conflicting judgment. When a judgment is being passed, it has to be decided by court of appeal. You don't need to go to another court of the same jurisprudence, because I'm not a lawyer. I'm a layman to the law.
It should be a superior court that gives
for that power
clarification.
Clarification. So now, because we can see that the PDP are desperate, the converter of the so-called convention are so desperate, and they want it. The host is very desperate as well, and for you to know that what Wike is saying is a real fact, that is on a normal ground. Saraki has spoken. Will he stay? That's the question. It is going to even bring more problem to the party.
What Saraki said, is it more or less like, I'm not a part of this kind of thing?
Because he's learning from the history. The precedents are there for you to know. When we are talking about the court being given a kind of... This, I said earlier, there is no problem that is bewildering PDP right now that has never happened to APC. I remember the last time we have this, we have a convention in Abuja, when the party chairman has to be need to be sorted out. Two people came out. Senator Abdullah Adamu came out. He's from Nasarawa State, because those the position was zoned to northwest, not central, sorry. And Al Makura came out. Both of them are ex-governor of Nasarawa State. They came out, and not among them are ready to back down. It was on the convention grant that they have to plead seriously, because it is well stated that the electoral bill said when a position needs to be held, there shouldn't be any secret. The form needs to be doled out. People have the right to contest. People have the right to be voted for. What's spelled out in the Constitution? What's spelled out in the Electoral Act? That must be done. And again, where the convention is going to be held is well stipulated as well. That when you are talking about any registered political party, any register, even when you are talking about any organization, must be in Abuja, because it's the headquarters of the Nigeria. A political party must have its headquarters in Abuja. And when you are talking about the state level, there was a time in Anambra State, there was a dispute, and they have to take their primary to Abuja. The court said they have no right to take the primary to Abuja. It must be done within the confinement of where the election is going to be held. Why must we do it in Ibadan? And again, the first judgment was about the compliance with Electoral Act, which is not being sorted out by the High Court in our state. I remember on the same convention we had in Abuja. I remember one of us in Oyo State, Bolaji Rekwete, wanted to be the national youth leader. He was pleaded on. All of them has to come out, even when they agree that it is sorted. But because of the record purpose, Al Makura came out and he said he supported Senator Adamu, Abubakar Adamu, or whatever his name. He supported him. He said he really resigned, or he agreed with the concession. The same thing with Bolaji Bekete, and there are some slots which other contested for as well. Why would PDP said they have just only one form when we have almost
maybe they printed only one?
It is, in this particular age, when it can be printed within a second, from the computer.
Or probably they are looking at the
when it
consensus.
can be even duplicated, when it can be photocopied, when you are paid for the form. It shows the students there, it shows the secrecy, it shows unfairness, and which we must condemn. It is not peculiar to PDP, but because PDP were well known, that is why this are happening. We have to talk about the other political party need to be able to really gain from this. Because Nigerians are not fools. Nigerians are well informed, they are educated, our law is well written, and it's not ambiguous. It is there for us to see and read. It is readable.
Well, I'm still going to ask you a particular question much later, but before I go there, I want to ask you, the current legal battles within the PDP, are they symptoms of ideological and leadership fractures within the party?
It is not. It is not. It is because of selfish interest. I keep telling people, it is live and let live.
And then who are the selfish ones within the party? If you are talking about selfishness, you are talking about greed. Who are the greedy ones?
Because those who tends to be oligarchy within the system. Who really want to be controlled. It is not.
Is it Seyi Makinde of Oyo State?
We are not going to talk about the host. When I'm talking about the host, I meant Governor Seyi Makinde.
Is it greedy?
It is not because of greedy. It was because of greed.
Is he power hungry?
He is power hungry, of course. No doubt about that. He even don't want to be challenged. For you to see even the crisis within his even confinement of your state. When you are talking about some people that are demonstrating as well, they are asking for just. You must listen to them. Whether what they are going to say is really doesn't make sense or not. You are going to, when you are talking about the circular road, you are still demonstration that is going on everywhere. Because of the populism system or intent, he doesn't want to be criticized. And he has done that in the past as well. He has led some rain vote against the former governor, late Ajumabi. And it's not hidden agenda. He has supported those who are really making the government to be on governance. And where the late governor is just demanding for justification. What he was doing is not wrong. But apart from that, when you are talking about Wike, according to what he has said, he said, we must all be able to see that. All what you can able to say that because you are romancing with the current government, that means you are you have become a betrayer. It's not done within that. Anybody can be able to relate with all of us. When you see that Abiodun celebrating his mom probably 80 or 85 birthday, the governor of the state was there. Why did he say? Because the governor is an APC governor. He doesn't want to be there. They hug, they chat, they talk. Our liking, our relationship is beyond political party. But when all the law are well spelled, we must follow it to the letter.
Okay, let me ask you this question. It popped in a few seconds ago. Now, with the Oyo State High Court giving the go-ahead and with the Federal High Court in Abuja issuing a restraining order, which ruling do you consider more consequential politically and why?
Thank you very much. The first ruling wasn't that the Oyo State Convention must not hold. It was just telling them they didn't meet the requirement of the Electoral
INEC.
Electoral Act, not INEC.
Okay.
Electoral Act. INEC is just an observant. That the Electoral Act, that makes it to be defect. The judgment in your state is about proceeding.
They just wanted to hold.
Yeah, it just wanted to hold.
Regardless of the situation.
Regardless of the situation.
Okay.
It was saying they must follow the Electoral Act. In the first instance, they are not following the Electoral Act. Electoral Act said the form, anything you are going to be done must be done within the confinement of the law. You must give the numbers of days for people who are going to contest. There must be form available. It's there. It is not secret. That was the first that they did comply with Electoral Act. Now, the judgment of the state is just a blanket. It said you must go on. You must go on. The second judgment against this state convention is that because Jigawa state governor, what's his name? That you didn't include him. He wanted to be part.
He wanted to participate.
Participate.
And it was not allowed.
It was not allowed. It is within his judgment. It is within his
right to
compete, to contest. You didn't allow him, and he went to court and challenged it. What Oyo State High Court said is that still, and mind you, the judgment doesn't say about it.
That was Sule Lamido.
Yes, Sule Lamido. He was just telling them that you must stop doing everything you are doing until you come and tell what happened. Whether the man is too late or he paid for the form too late, or he doesn't pay for the form, or probably he's not supposed to contest. That is what the judgment is all about.
Now, let's take this look, potential outcome of this particular convention to be held in Ibadan over the weekend. It happened in Bayelsa State. There was a Congress. Candidate was elected by the APC. He won the election. A day to the election, he was practicing on how to wave to the people. Unfortunately, the election was declared not and void, and it was swept aside. And Due Ediri became the governor. He came second in the election eventually. Due Ediri is in his second term in office. That was a disaster that befell the APC in Bayelsa State. Is that a likely outcome for the PDP? If they go ahead with this convention, and there are conflicting court cases here and there, even before the 2027 general election, does it mean that this could potentially crush the PDP in Nigeria?
You see, the one in Bayelsa State is just a child play. That was the worst thing.
It happened in the north too.
That is what I'm saying to you.
Okay.
It happened in Safara. You are talking about
every member of
all the elected members.
That
is why I was telling you that whatever happened, the worst has happened in APC. And he's a president to learn. That's what I say. Even this government, that is why you see the governor of Plateau State is why he's worshiping the president of Nigeria. You are talking about President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. The same thing is supposed to befell him. He's supposed to have been pushed out. His election is supposed to have been nullified.
But he's still the governor.
He's still the governor. Because when you are talking about something, when you are, they will say APC. So what happened? Because this kind of, what is happening in PDP right now, about conflicted court judgment, is what happened in Plateau State. And the governor was spared, and other state of assembly members were pushed out. The same election, the same day, everything. But they left him alone. Why do we not learn from the history? Sorting this out within some 50, there can't be any problem. There can not be any problem that cannot be solved.
So, as an APC chieftain, do you think the PDP can hold a convention whose outcome can actually withstand, long-term?
It is good for the opposition.
Legal scrutiny.
Having this convention is good for the opposition because they won't be able to get themselves. Not in 2027. Stopping the convention will have been given the room for settlement. But having this convention has nullified everything. It has nullified even for you to be able to come together and settle your problem.
Do the APC have most in the PDP?
The IMO, one of their outspoken member in Numu State, Ogbuluchuku, I don't know how to call the name, is about to leave PDP to APC because he knew that there is no outcome that will come out of it. Even if he won, it just work for nothing.
Honorable Molaja, do the APC as a party, do they have moles in the PDP as we speak?
That is why I'm saying this to you. We have it so terrible in some years, we have been really punished. We have been dealt with the law. We're supposed to be, we are now managing our system. That is why I said to you, when Oshiomhole was pushed out, it was being orchestrated by the governor of Edo State. He was pushed out and he went to the court. He saw that it is not going to resolve the problem. Do you know what he did? He withdrew and left the system to decide itself. Al-Makura was the candidate of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He stepped down. If he didn't step down, if he contested, he cannot even have the chance he has that right now. PDP are going to use that opportunity because opportunity is there for you to use. Mind you, even when you are talking about what happened in Safura, it was not even opposition. It was not PDP problem. It was APC that challenged it. And the case, and all those contesting elected members were nullified. So what happened by Bayelsa State? Just because of conflicting names, that the law is well spoused.
And it was even the deputy at the time.
Deputy, but they are contesting in the same ticket. The defect of one is the other. Lion doesn't have any problem. His deputy does. And he was a PDP extraction. He has been doing that illegality for a very long time. The deputy was a senator, elected senator of PDP extraction. They are used to illegality. So now, anything that happened today is not going to be opposition for.
The crisis befalling the PDP in Nigeria as we speak, can we consider that the hands of Iso, the voice of Jacob?
No.
But the APC is deliberately tampering with the PDP and messing with them.
As I keep telling you, the worst has happened to APC. The worst.
But the president is a master tactician politically.
It is not about that. He is a member tactician, but because some people don't listen, that is what happened to us. What happened in APC when his candidate Oshiomhole was there and was pushed out? He told him to withdraw the cases and leave them. This is simple arithmetic.
The former Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and of course the former governor of Kwara State, Alhaji Bukola Saraki, Senator Bukola Saraki, has said, look, this particular convention you want to have in Ibadan, why can't we shelve it? Let's solve internal wranglings. And then when we are done with that...
Because he has planned.
Let me come to this very quickly. Do you think if they had more people, more PDP stalwarts like Bukola Saraki, the people would have gotten it right, better than this?
A lot of politicians can be hungry. Some politicians have their integrity in place. They cannot be cobweb. They cannot be just pushed around. They cannot be a beggar. They will say the truth. That is what I'm saying to you. Bukola Saraki has came, is an allied. He has came to APC. He has been punished. He was given the chance to become a Senate president because he has the chance and he uses it. And he has it for about 4 years. What is his outcome? Where is this instead? He's been begging around. He knew. The laws are there. The same Bukola Saraki, when he was Senate president, they just overlook it. In the constitution, it was boldly written. If you cannot be collecting the same money from the government, whether federal, whether local government, because all the money comes from the same source. Bukola Saraki, as a senator, is collecting money from the Senate and is collecting the gratitude or whatever that belongs to the governor.
Of course.
It's a criminal offense. He must go to jail. Even if you are a civil servant, it is boldly written. I read my constitution like a novel. It's always beside me. I've been reading it since 2000. Yeah, 2000. It is boldly written. Even if you are a pensioner in civil service and you are elected to be a councillor, you cannot be draw the money as a councillor or chairman at the same time from being you are going to suspend one for the other. That is the way it was said. Now, he has learned his lesson from APC. He needs to tell, now they are not listening to him because he cannot just be pushed around. He has told the truth. And this convention that is coming tomorrow is going to polarize. is going to make PDP ineffective throughout 2027.
Do you think Governor Seyi Makinde has bullied some of his followers into submission and acceptance to have this convention happen in Ibadan?
You might say anything. I mean, the money is there. Governor Fayose said it, that when you are in power, a lot of people are going to be kissing your ass and they are going to be, licking your feet. That because you have the means to survive, you have the means to tell them. So the money is there. It can be dole around. So a lot of people worship money because money in Nigeria, even in the world, is God. So the God of money is with Engineer Seyi Makinde and is utilizing it right now.
Do you see, after this particular convention, would there be a parallel rulership in the PDP?
Parallel rulership is not it is not what is really thing that is going to be happening.
Well,
but
we
the
have
fact,
two chairmen,
the legal, no, there can't be that. But the fact still remain that even if INEC is here in your state for tomorrow convention, the legal problem that is bewildering PDP, it is going to be there for long. It's going to be more than 2027 because they are going to go to Supreme Court. What is Supreme Court going to tell them is what they know. They just want to, it's like roulette gone. They just want to gamble it. And gambling is not politics. Because some people are going to sit down and judge it. You remember in 2019, thereabout. Do you know what PDP Alhaji Abubakar want to use? He want to use the then CJ that was part of those sting operation that the president of Nigeria, the late President PMB Buhari, that is why they didn't treat Wike fairly. It was Wike that saved his ass. It was Wike that stole him out of the house when those DSS want to conduct a serious operation because they knew he'd dig his hand in some till. Now, the same judge are those they shipped to UAE. They want to corrupt it that if there is election, he's going to be there and he's going to nullify presidential election. That's for you to know the power of the judicial system power.
Okay, very quickly, if you are to advise the PDP, as a Nigerian, not an APC chieftain anyway, as a Nigerian who is passionate and concerned about democracy, what would be your number one recommendation for the PDP as we speak?
It's too late. It's too late because they are going to conduct this convention tomorrow. Go to Europe, you are going to see.
So you would have said they should shelve the convention.
The stalwart, the person that's very important than me or any other person, the chairman of the Reconciliation Committee, Abubakar Saraki, has told them, and Bukola Saraki, and they have ignored him. They said he's part of Wike's system. You know, it was the one that made them, that led them to INEC. For INEC to tell them that there must be synergy within the chairman and secretary. When they went there to ask questions, because they knew, they thought, and they said it was the ruling party that is making PDP to have problem. And they went to INEC, and INEC told them that it is not about any other person. They want you to be able to be successful. That there must be synergy between the chairman and the secretary. When there was synergy, you can see how things play out and everything work well. When everybody sits on the table, no matter the dispute you have, it is going to be resolved. But in PDP, some people think they are important than the others. And for you to see that, those people who need to tell them to be able to check them are doing what is necessary right now.
Honorable Mola Jalayo, thank you for joining us on the show this morning.
Thank you very much.
It has been an eye-opening session with you. Now, as we wrap up, let's reflect on the possible futures for the PDP. If the Ibadan Convention proceeds and is seen as legitimate, despite the legal dispute, it might offer the party a chance to reset, rebuild internally, and present a revitalized opposition front ahead of 2027. On the other hand, if the process is challenged and the outcome undermined by legal quagmires or internal dissent, the PDP risks being further marginalized, its value as a national opposition diminished. For our views today, our viewers out there, keep an eye on not just on whether the convention happens, but how it happens, the level of consensus, transparency, and legal diligence and follow-through. These are the clues to whether the PDP will reclaim its footing or concede ground. Thank you for joining us today on Daybreak Live and, of course, The Big Story. Stay with us as we connect and bring you Trend Watch shortly. We'll be back. Samson Balogun is my name.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast and on X at Dominion Cast. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Welcome back from that short break. The show is still Daybreak Live right here on Dominion Television, your channel of choice, where inspiration meets entertainment. Do well to link up with us on all socials, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X, formerly Twitter, at Dominion Cast. You can watch us live on YouTube and on Facebook at Dominion Broadcast. Do well to leave your comments there. You can also watch us live on our website, www.dominion.org.ng. Now it's time for Trend Watch, and Oluwayemi Adelaku is here with me again in the studio this morning, with whom we'll be making sense of this current trend of Maurice Moye, the Director General for the mobilization of the obedience movement. Yes, he resigned. And why? I mean, it's a lot to unpack anyway. I think it is becoming clearer that the obedience movement is gradually losing shape. Because first of all, you see people who were actually a compact member of that particular team already gravitating towards different political parties. And now the DG has resigned. I mean, it calls for a lot of questions. What exactly is going on within that particular movement? Is Peter Obi losing his grip on the Gen Zs and the obedient movement? That's a question we should ask this morning.
Honestly, when I read this story yesterday, I was a bit surprised because, I mean, he's someone that has invested so much into the obedient movement. And then he even said he spent about 40 million naira of his own personal money. I mean, that speaks of someone who is intentional about a cause, not minding whether he's going to benefit from that, in terms of money or maybe position or appointment, what have you. And then he mentioned some certain things that I'm so disturbed about, to say that, ever since, he's been given that position, to hold that position, Peter Obi has never asked a question about, how they are doing, about, their progress, about funding. He said, part of the reason why he resigned is because of financial strain, emotional strain. He said it's done with, no result, especially this last Anambra election that happened. He said the result of that election for the Labour Party further deterred him to say, really, I don't want to continue with this. I mean, we are not seeing results despite the effort and the money being spent. So it's a problem. And now I'm wondering that, is Peter Obi really that kind of a person that you would give someone a position to say, okay, be in charge of mobilization of the obedience movement, and then you would ask them for how are they funding, all that they are doing? You won't ask them about the progress of that sector. I think it's a sad one, because even if you put some persons in a position that has nothing to do with politics now, I think it is expected of you to ask from time to time to say, okay, what do you need? How are you faring? What is working? What is not working? How can we come into this to ensure that you have good result? Not to talk of a position that is that sensitive, and then he spent about 40 million naira of his own personal money. I really do not expect that, but then I don't want to conclude on that note, because I believe that Peter Obi himself might still come out to clarify some things. And then Maurice Moye also said that he believes the truth will come out soon or enough. He said he's done with optics, he's done with no result, that he wants to focus on his own personal growth, and then he's done. I'm not sure he's out of the Labour Party, as it were now. Well, he's just done with handling that position of being the Director General of the mobilization of the obedient movement, really.
Well, I think, sometimes some positions can be really overwhelming, especially when funding is not coming forth, and most definitely when, sometimes it's not just about the money. Sometimes moral support is all you need to get. You just keep doing what you are doing, especially when you know that in the long run, it's a long-term goal and not a short-term fix. Yeah. And I think judging by what he just said, he has invested so much in it. I mean, we all know what value 1 million naira has in Nigeria, how much more 40 million naira from an individual. That's not an establishment. It's not even a group of people. So he's done so much for the party. He's done so much for the obedient movement. And if at this time he feels like he's being used, or if at this time he feels like he's tired of getting along with this, I think the question is, why was he left alone to do this all by himself in the first place? Yes, sometimes there's a place of passion in everything we do. There's a place of personal conviction that this is what I want to do. This is what I think is right. Let me join hands with these people and get some things done. But there's also a place of comfort. When someone comforts you and says, look, yes, we know we are not funding you. Yes, we know we don't have enough to give you, but just keep doing what you are doing. When you hear them say it directly to you, it gives you the added impetus to keep doing what you are doing. I mean, you keep marching on and you show on, just like people will say out there. But unfortunately, I don't think he will come out and just spew lies all over the place or smell lies all over the place. It must have been that this happened in its totality. And probably there wasn't too much communication between himself and the leader of the obedience movement, who is Peter Obi himself. Probably there was no communication, or there was no agreement as to what he will get and how he will go about it.
Or funding. This is how you get funding.
Yes, because sometimes when you enter an agreement with people, you have to be crystal clear about what comes with it.
But one more thing, sorry to cut you. Sometimes when you enter agreement with people are bound to change. The level of persons that can stick to an agreement in this country, over the time I've come to realize that is very minute.
Maybe 1%.
People can change at any time. So maybe they had an agreement, and maybe because Peter Obi, I don't want to assume that, or maybe because some members of the party have failed to follow suit with what they agreed on. That's why he's saying, okay, let me come out of this, because I think it's mental sometimes, especially when you're working with somebody, and then you feel like this person doesn't really care about the level of progress that we make or not. So it's a big concern. I mean, for the Labour. Talk about the Labour Party itself now. There's a crisis going on in the party, leadership crisis. So I don't want to see that. Maybe
there was a time they had about three different chairmen. The Apapa faction, the Abure faction, and the Usman and the Nadi faction. So they've had their own fair share of crisis. And to say that it started with the Labour Party.
Yeah.
Now the PDP, they're also having their own issues, and some are saying that of the APC and ADC is still coming, but we are waiting patiently for that.
No, ADC had their own fair share today. That's what person said. They forged their own signature,
right.
and then they were on it. They went to courts, and then so I don't know. It's a lot to undo.
You see, it's just really sad that someone who has invested so much feels used and feels dumped eventually, and it just thinks, well, I've not really made anything from this other than stress and mental stress and most times financial burden. So it is time to chicken out. And well, if that works for him, I think fine. But most importantly, when you have a team of soldiers that work with you, the most important thing is make sure that you keep them in check, you keep them in line, and most definitely you eulogize them for whatever it is they are bringing to the table, and let them know that you are truly with them in this fight. This is what we are doing. We are doing it together. That's all some people need. They don't really need the money. And for him to have spent up to 40 million without saying a thing, it means that it's not really about the money for him.
How many Nigerians can close their eyes and spend 40 million?
And a political party. I mean, it's something that is done, and we must commend him for that. But when it comes to party funding, it's not a one-man's job. Peter Obi is doing his fair share. He might not have spent too much money, just like his usual saying, we know they give shishi. But then the fact still remains that parties do not run on water. Parties do not run on paper. They run on cash. And politics in Nigeria, as we all know, is now expensive, very expensive, and it has always been expensive, even though it has been graduating in terms of how expensive it is. But then, let's see what will happen. There will be reaction from Peter Obi. There will be reaction from the Obedient movement. There will be reaction from the Labour Party. Yeah. So let's see how that unfolds.
And Obedience themselves, trust them. They're on the X now, and you're trying to defend one party or the other.
All right, we simply have to go. On you now, he's saying we really have to go on the show. We say thank you for being a part of the show so far. Yes, it has been a wonderful one from Monday down to Friday. Let's meet again next week, Mondays to Fridays, same time, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on this show, Daybreak Live. And of course, today's edition is Daybreak Live Extra. Samson Balogun is my name. As we all go this weekend, do your part, play your beat, play your role. Nigeria must be great again. Bye for now.
All right, thank you for being a part of the show. To join us same time on Monday. And as we leave here, the week has been tasking, but do your best. To forge ahead regardless. My name is Oluwayemi Adela. I'm saying good morning.
Thank you.